Palestinian state for Canada.
Yeah.
The wording.
Yeah. Doing good. Hope you're well. And then Palestinian governance reforms. I think they can do that. I'm not, like I said, it's kind of vague, so I'm not exactly sure.
I feel it's a setup, personally. Like, you're saying it's vague. I feel it's very vague too, and I feel it's a setup, and I don't believe they'll be able to meet the criteria.
There's a couple more qualifiers that are more important.
What are those?
I'll just read it as a statement. This is from Canada's Prime Minister of Canada. We reiterate that Hamas must immediately release all hostages taken in the horrific terrorist attack of October 7th. That Hamas must disarm, and that Hamas must play no role in the future governance of Palestine. Canada will always steadfastly support Israel's existence as an independent state in the Middle East. Any path to lasting peace for Israel also requires a viable and stable Palestinian state, and one that recognizes Israel's inalienable right to security and peace. So they need to recognize the state of Israel.
You already did that.
I'm just saying that's just one of the requirements that you didn't mention, so I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. But I don't think the Hamas thing is on the requirements. I think they're just saying that as like a general statement.
No, I'm reading
from what I could tell.
Statement from the Prime Minister's office. I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. I want to read that because I just read off ChatGPT, so.
Yeah, I like to go to the primary source, so that's the pair. I just pinned it in the link. It's from the PM. It's from pm.gc.ca, and then it's the statement from July 30th, 2025. It says it's called the Statement of Prime Minister Carney, Canada's recognition of Palestinian state. If you'd like, I will do the same thing for Macron. This came from the French ministry, the French embassy to the U.S. So let me pull that up for you.
This intention's predicated. Yeah, but I'm reading the statement, Yaakov.
Yeah, all right.
And when they list their intentions are predicated on certain conditions, and it goes into like the PA reform, the elections without Hamas, the demilitarization. The next paragraph, I think, the way I'm reading it at least, isn't any longer talking about those conditions.
There it is.
I don't think so. I think that's just part of the statement.
But if it wasn't. Let me go back to. I put France in.
They know the PA can't control Hamas.
I understand. What it's saying is that the PA has to do a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah.
The Hamas has to do a bunch of stuff, and that any Palestinian entity has to recognize the state of Israel.
I'm reading it, and I understand why you think that, but I don't think that's part of the conditions. The way I'm reading it is...
Okay. The paragraph that starts, we reiterate that Hamas must immediately release...
Yeah, as a result of this, I personally feel that from being fully open... When I say fully open, not obviously fully open, but more open than what I am, in terms of what I say. And when it inhibits me from getting a better experience out of Clubhouse as well. Does nobody else feel the same way?
My whole thing is, I forget sometimes about the recordings and the anonymous feature. And so, depending on what room I'm in, I might, I like to say things.
Kilometers, they don't really give a shit.
And about how thick is the shell for low Earth orbit?
250 kilometers altitude up to 2,000.
Oh,
but nobody really goes above like 700, 800 is like the self-cleaning portion of low Earth orbit. only goes up to about 550, 600.
Like I was in the room earlier and I said some things and it was only maybe
so
an
you're
hour or
just
so.
thinking of that if your ship breaks,
I hope John
it's
wasn't
going to fall
recording
back
that
to
room
earth.
because I would hate for certain people, not on Clubhouse,
Right.
you know, people that I know in real life that I love, but sometimes I might joke about them and their lifestyle choices. I would hate for them to hear that and get the wrong impression. So I have to be mindful that what I'm saying is possibly being recorded and streamed on YouTube. So that's my gripe right there. I don't think I mind the whole recording thing because there's nothing we can do about it. So I just have to kind of check myself, you know.
Wow. John, you're back here for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to let you know, look at the Anon in the audience. That's me live streaming the room, and feel free to kick me. I'll just live stream the room. I don't care. I'll do it anonymously. It's fine by me.
Again, you don't have my consent.
Again, you can't give consent when you can't give consent. It's anonymous. Good luck, bro, but you can't guard your conversations here. Any of these conversations can and will be recorded.
Yeah.
All right. What I'd like us to do is honor Serendipity's wish for it to be a true social room. So if there's going to be like personality conflicts, I think Serendipity gets to decide, like, boom the room or what.
Well, I'm more than happy to leave. I'll just record anonymously. How does that sound, everybody? I can make everybody happy by leaving.
Yeah,
have a great day.
We can find every account.
John, why
Accessible to folks, because especially in Clubhouse, there's a lot of folks that think that space is like this.
It's not even me and the anonymous. I'm just making him paranoid that it's me.
Come through.
They don't think that.
No. The instant I mentioned that I have a political appointment with the UN and have a security clearance and all that, they get all really freaked out that I'm some sort of deep state plant here to
Why would you multiply 2 pi r and you divide it by 365 times 24, bro? Why are we getting this 66666 number, bro? That shouldn't be the speed.
I mean, there's the legal part of it, but there's also the, somebody asked not to be recorded. I think it's kind of just descriptive to keep recording them.
Yeah, because John Kitover is a jerk.
You're no gentleman. You're no gentleman, sir. Jerks. Only jerks call people jerks, sir. You're no gentleman.
You are harassing. I request you cease harassing us.
You're harassing yourself, sir. I'm merely recording anonymously. You're no gentleman.
We right at the top of one of our.
Kick me.
We said that the professor's last name was Seitzman. So we said that 666 meters was equal to 1 Seitzman, and did the entire assignment in Seitzmans as our unit of length.
Jeez.
He got a good chuckle out of that.
I'll go into the rooms in here occasionally, whenever they get into the numerology or astrology or whatever, and it's just you're trying to make that point about the arbitrary nature of numbers and base systems, and it's just, you talk about communication. I think I'm doing a fairly decent job of communicating that point, saying it where the goats can get it. Hey, did you ever think about if you were in a different base system, I don't know, let's go crazy and say binary, that number would look different, right, completely, and it wouldn't mean the same thing, right, that's the pushback, right, but the whole, but you're talking about the sacred sanctity of the number itself. I'm assuming sacred and sanctity go back before base 10 enumerations, right? Am I wrong here? It's over the mark, bro.
And then you tell them the concept of zero came out of the Middle East. With the top tech company that I worked for at the time, and I was driving a 5 Series brand new BMW. I don't know why the cop pulled me over. Honestly, it was a brother. I still don't know why he pulled me over. I think he was maybe curious. I think that he was maybe curious, but ultimately it led to nothing. But
I think in short, the point that I'm making is that, yeah, racial profiling is an issue, but I think that if you're within a certain class or demographic, then you're a bit more protected.
Let me ask you a question, Hood. Respect.
Because if something like what really bad that I heard of, and I would block you. You can't be touched.
Within the black community, do you feel that's a real thing?
I don't know that it is, but I think that broadly, I think that I think that the outcomes of being profiled and pulled over by a black cop, sort of the outcomes are much better versus if you were pulled over by like a white cop. Like let me give you guys a quick example, and this is back in my college days.
This train was on its way to Washington, and as many speeds as it damn well meet our current needs. With your permission, sir, we made a selection of some of the more promising horses.
Driving back,
That is yours, sir.
and at the time, I was driving a Saab in college.
Sir, shall I arrange for the purchase?
Fucked up.
The Confederate
I
treasury is
came
on
from a
set,
fucking
and maybe
frat
both
party.
sit
I
well
was
in the saddle.
fucked
Good morning, sir.
It's my son. And I was about a mile away from my exit. And it was a sheriff, a black sheriff, who pulled me over. And
You never get close to nothing.
so he came in my car. It was clear I was fucked up. And I even admitted it. I was like, yo, bro. I was like, listen, I'm a Morehouse grad. I just came from a frat party. I live in this apartment complex less than a mile away. He let me go. And I know the only reason why he let me go is because I was black.
Here's a
I went
list
to
of
Morehouse because I was driving south. If it had been a white guy, they would have fucking handcuffed my ass in 2 seconds. So I think that there's this nuance that exists within racial profiling that may give the very few black people that may be perceived to be in a certain class based on my experience. And I'm just speaking for me.
Guys, we go Pop Gonzalo. Let me say hello to Hillary, William, John Kitover, E. How you doing, E. J. Maddock? Guys, going Pop Gonzalo, grab the mic. And if anybody's going to speak, maybe give us a solution to the problem. It seems to be systemic through the country.
I want to agree with the person who was just speaking before me. As far as I think that social class has a lot to do with it. If not more than, or as much as, because if you see somebody dressed to the nines that looks like they belong, that's driving a really nice car in a really nice neighborhood, doesn't really matter, what the color of their skin is. You see somebody driving a really nice car in a really nice neighborhood that does not look like they belong behind the wheel of that car, you're going to get pulled over. You're going to get questioned. I mean, God only knows how many times I've been questioned about, like, literally, back in New Orleans, just all the fucking time. And, it didn't have anything to do with the color of my skin. It had to do with the fact that I was very young driving a Porsche, So I got pulled over a lot. And I think that, I think I agree that there's a classism that runs parallel to the racism that race covered.
The only thing about classism is that when you look at stratification across race, is that the chances of coming across a black person who's in sort of the higher levels of wealth are not, the data doesn't prove it. Whereas the majority of black people, based on wealth stratification, you're going to find that the overwhelming majority of black people are going to be in sort of the lower tier of wealth, and at best, maybe the middle tier. So given that data point, it always is going to tie back to racial profiling is an issue.
I find it's more here. Okay, so I live in Houston now, but I grew up in New Orleans, and in New Orleans, I just don't think it was. Maybe because most of the police officers there were black, but I don't think it was as big of a deal. They were more worried about tourists, drunk shit, giving people fines for being drunk, shit like that. They had their way. Here, where I'm at in Houston, like look up Jersey Village. It is a little tiny segment of Houston, but the speed limit goes from 50 and it drops down to 30 with no warning, zero warning, and they just sit there and there's just one little like 3 miles. That's it, 3 miles of street, and they'll just pull people over left and right, left and right. And I'm telling you, man,
the soil on
Earth. Everyone I know that's got pulled over there. If you're young, white, you can go. They don't even ask you for shit. Everybody else is not. Hispanic, black, Asian, doesn't matter. You're getting ticketed, you get pulled in, you get your car towed. It's crazy. It's got to be the most racist little city I've ever seen, like, in my lifetime. And it's just not even realistic. I don't know how they get away with it.
Well, illegal asset seizure and forfeiture is a major problem. If you're going to the casino, coming back to the casino, you get pulled over by the police, the state troopers. They can seize your dollars in your car with no questions asked and make you have to sue them to take your money. So that's a major problem. It's unconstitutional, and police departments are getting away with it across the whole country, and it's well documented.
Yeah, this Jersey Village is they're like self-funded. So all of their money is coming in, their tickets and all that, it's all coming from that. So, and I don't know what the difference between that and like Harris County, like where I live at, I don't know the difference between the two, like why one of them is run by like, the city and one of them is able to fund themselves. But yeah, it's just
250 kilometers out to 2,000. Oh, nobody.
Hey, Ozzy. I think it would, in order for somebody to say that racial profiling isn't something that's real, the only way I can really imagine that is by somebody having a politically motivated perspective. And the reason I say that is because all profiling, racial profiling is just a component of profiling altogether. I think we're constantly profiling people, and I don't think that profiling is also always a bad thing, because I think it just sometimes can take into account just information about different demographics, such as if I have somebody that I know who is a black person, I know they might be able to finish my sentence and relate when I say something like, my mom told me growing up, I brought you into this world so I can, and they usually can be able to finish that sentence. So, in that sense, I think that it's more broad than just the negative use of it, but there certainly is a negative use to it. So yeah, it's absolutely real, but I would say it is only one component of profiling altogether. And I think that when you take into account the entirety of how many different dimensions you can profile a person on, while racial profiling can be more significant for some people than for others in terms of the significance it's played in their life, it ultimately is not as significant as all of the other combinatorial factors combined. So I think that, yes, it's absolutely real. I've experienced it. I'm a mixed person, so I'm black, white, and Mexican. And I've experienced racial profiling from every single side, from black people toward me, white people toward me, Mexicans toward me, and in every direction I can think of. And it has been significant in terms of some of the experiences I've had. I had a lot of negative, and I've had some positive experiences as well from people racially profiling me, because sometimes people can automatically look at you like a positive figure, like a brother, just on the basis of seeing, what you look like and how your features present or how you talk. But
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have a question for the room. First of all, I have a question for John. John, why do you have two accounts in here? But I have a question for okay, John?
I don't think I had two accounts in here. Let me see.
There was somebody down there with your picture in it that says John.
Nah.
Maybe that's me. I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah. Anyway, so I have a question for the room. Then I want to say hello to true Clubhouse OG, my friend Sloan. Ask the question. Maybe Sloan can answer it for me. Do you feel like this move that Donald Trump is making by putting the police, by putting the National Guard in Washington, D.C. is racially profiling? Is that the thought process behind that? How you doing, Sloan?
Hey, happy Sunday. Good to see you, JP.
Happy Sunday.
For everybody, yeah. Do I think there is I think there will be a racial profiling component to what he's doing, but I actually don't think that's his motivation. He's a racist, but he's so much more. I think he is really more about um, our conversation here. This is just our conversation. Um, Around DC, it's more about he's a real estate mogul. I don't care if he's president. He is who he is. He loves real estate. We think there's something behind it related to real estate and taking control of the territory in some sort of way, fashion that would benefit him. I don't think this is purely about government. Although, but yeah, I think there will be some component of racial profiling. You know, I drive through DC every day, and I see this one particular um, homeless guy all the time. And you know, for under a bridge, he's got a really good setup. You can tell he's been there a while, and it's in a quiet part of DC, north of the National Mall, and it's like towards Rock Creek Park, going up Bethesda, you know, like the nice area near Kennedy Center. Nobody ever bothers him. He doesn't have a lot of traffic. And I noticed Thursday he was gone. He's always there. That's like his little area. I think this is a bigger conversation than just about um, racism. But of course, I do think there's a component of it. But yeah, that's where I'll stop. Thanks.
Hey, Sloan, let me just give me a second, John. I'm gonna be honest with you. I specifically put that question out there because I know you go through DC.
Yep.
And I wanted to get you engaged. I'm glad you're on stage. Hang out for a while. John, you wanted to say something? And then we'll go to Craig.
Yeah, I don't agree with Sloan said, but I'm not going to attack the person. I'll just attack the idea. I think deploying the DEA, I don't know if you know this, but the DEA is now in control of the Washington, D.C. Police Department. They've taken it over. And so Donald Trump is using federal law enforcement in a way to take over the D.C. in a swarm type of way that has never been done before. And it's indiscriminate. It's not racist. It's not profiling. They are merely swarming Washington, D.C. Stephen Miller is claiming they're even going to get rid of all the graffiti in Washington, D.C. So in terms of domain or real estate, Donald Trump is officially declaring Washington, D.C. his capital, and he's taken it over. And I hope he rolls it out to Chicago, LA, New York, Seattle, Portland, wherever Antifa and wherever agents of chaos are ruining these streets or have ruined these streets, or wherever sanctuary cities are, in whatever city. I hope he swarms those cities as well with the same forces that have taken over DC. I think this is like a king in the castle strategy. People may not like it, but I think after Biden and the invasion of millions of illegal aliens, I think it's necessary, and I think he's going to roll it out.
Congressman, land your plane. So let me go to Craig, because Craig's patient's been waiting. Craig, the mic's yours, my friend.
No, the only reason why it's not gonna work, John, is because Washington, from DC, or not from DC, but from LA, Chicago, and all those other places. It's because Washington, that's a federal state, right? So everything that's gonna be happening over there, no matter what type of crime you get, it automatically becomes a federal offense. That's just when it works in California.
Wait, Craig, is that true? If you get arrested in DC, it's a federal crime?
For the most part, just depending on what it is, yeah.
DC's not a state.
No. There's parts, if you do something, say, on the National Mall, on Martin Luther King Mall, you do something, that there are pockets that are federal territory, and it's only, okay.
Yeah, I think that if you're on federal territory, then you're probably more exposed to being federally prosecuted versus being on non-federal property or territories in DC.
Right. Yeah. It also matters the nature of the crime. So if you're doing more intelligent crimes, for example, like embezzling or fraud or things like that, those are more likely to be federally prosecuted, as opposed to like if you get arrested for domestic violence or something like that, that's more likely to be considered a state crime.
Thank you, everybody. Sloan, yeah, Sloan.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's not much that's going to happen on federal property, really, because, obviously there's federal law enforcement always right there. The most that happens is that you illegally park, and so your tickets are different from a ticket that would come from DC, District of Columbia Police. So that's what I'll say.
That's not true because, like airports, for example, like Reagan or Dulles or any airports around the country are sort of like, I don't know, quasi sort of federal entities. And so if, we've heard about the no-flies list, like if you go and start acting real stupid in airports that, have FAA and other federal agencies, then there's a huge chance that you're going to be prosecuted federally. So I wouldn't sort of like dismiss, the role of federal properties and not really being held to the high standards of federal prosecution versus like local ones. So that would be an example.
I did not dismiss it. I said that given his example about domestic violence on federal land, that was the example. So I'm like, the most that typically happens around the federal lands in DC are mostly either drinking or the kids stay out too late or parking illegally. That's what I said, and that's what I'm referring to.
Just real quick, I wanted to address something for John Ross. John, a question. John, do you identify as a Republican, like more on the right side of the aisle or the left side of the aisle? Just before I ask the question, I want to know where you're coming from.
I'm running as a Republican in the 16th District of Illinois as a fiscal conservative.
Okay, cool. So, as a Republican, with what your last submission was, I'd just like to know why, when Biden says we have to stay in for a couple weeks at home, it's totalitarian and it's the worst thing and the government's too big. But Trump wanting to take over cities and make it his own, as you said, quote unquote, is completely fine, and you want to see him do that in other places with people that disagree with you. Why is big government only a problem when the Democrats enforce things that expand governmental power and not Trump?
Well, I think you might be talking about the COVID-19 vaccine lockdowns as opposed to ridding our streets of crime and illegal alien invaders.
No, I'm referring to
Not gonna like the response.
At the time, or whether it be crime, and seeing how the principal Republicans, quote unquote, the ones that always stand on small government, we know big government, the government's already too big, drain the swamp, are now the number one people that are now siding with the feds, now being like, okay, yes, we need more government, we need them to go into these cities, we need them to exert more power, etc., etc. The same people that are now super down with the FBI and everybody else, even though 4 years ago they were saying that's the most corrupt institution of all time, that they don't work for anything, that they're in the pockets, they're part of the deep state, they're the swamp, etc., etc. I really just wonder, what in your brain, where does it click to all of a sudden one side is perfectly okay as long as Trump runs it, but the same exact thing happening under a Democrat is a World War II.
What does that have to do with racial profiling in America? I'm just curious.
No, it was based off John's last submission. I just really like to know.
John, you got 30 seconds, and I'd like to get back on topic, please. John, yes or no? All right, let me go to Blake. What's up, Blake, man? How you doing, brother?
Oh, what's up, JP? Man, I came in and they were talking about that last topic, and I was itching to get in on what brother XG said. But if you want to stay on, get back to the topic. That's totally fine.
Blake, you can speak on anything you want. I just don't want to distract too far away from the topic because Adam's asked me specifically to open this room for him. So, but bro, you know how I run my room. Say whatever you want, bro. I don't care.
Yeah, XG. So I'm gonna come out full disclosure. JB knows I'm generally I'm generally leaning to the right. And the question you just asked is a question that actual principal conservatives are asking the same question that you are asking right now. Right now, principal conservatives do have a problem with federal overreach, but there is a part of this side that I want to call Trump tards. Trust me. Was down with Trump, I voted Trump, but all this federal overreach stuff doesn't apply for Republicans and people like me who are principal. And we got a problem with this, but I will give you the difference and the distinction. You're talking about a virus that had a lot of conflicting information and overreach of the government and overreaction to that, ruining economies, ruin people's livelihoods due to government's overreach versus crime that is right in front of our face. We're talking about an immediate result of crime that we've been dealing with since 2020. Well, hold on, let me finish what I'm saying, and I'm gonna let you dispute. We got direct retribution for crime every day in cities across the U.S., including mine, especially mine, the epicenter of the 2020 riots and crime spike in America. So, look, you're talking about crime. Are you in Minneapolis? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Where just this week, 150 cars got smashed and broken into in a row. And police can't do nothing about it. We got people's garages and homes being broken into by crackheads and
Blake, give me some clarity. Where are these cars being stolen out of? Where's this place?
Minneapolis. Minneapolis has had a ridiculous crime spike since the riots in 2020. Where the police are overwhelmed or the police just don't want to do their jobs because they don't want to accidentally have to kill somebody in the line of their work. So we got a lot of OG cops who know the streets, who know they got experience, have left the force because our mayor, a Democratic mayor, and our governor threw the police department under the bus, allowed the 3rd precinct to burn down. And police have been like, why am I going to stick around and lose my pension and lose my opportunity to, retire after all the work I've done in this city? I might as well just cash it in right now. So you got a lot of OG cops with experience that have left the force. You got a lot of cops that are just hanging on, that are just milking it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Blake, I just need you to land your plane.
Yeah. So the point back to the point XG's making, like, no, man, principal conservatives are not okay with this federal overreach. And I say that this overreach is a result of pendulum swing and a result of the way your side run your cities. It's an overreaction. And I'm not okay with it, but I understand what's going on. It's an overreaction.
Yeah, sure. So my response to that would be, I also would agree that there's conflicting information when it comes to the DC accounts, and that comes from our own White House too, because Trump says that DC is so fucking horrible, the crime's spiking over there, etc. Things are so bad. Yet on January 3rd of the same exact year, we get a report from DC saying, let's see, this is from the United States Attorney's Office from the District of Columbia, quote, total violent crime for 2024 in the District of Columbia is down 35% from 2023 and is the lowest it has been in over 30 years, according to data collected by the Metropolitan Police Department and announced by the United States Attorney Matthew M. Graves. A breakdown of the data is available here. In addition to overall violent crime reduction, homicides are down 32%, robberies are down 39%, armed carjackings are down 53%, assaults with a dangerous weapon are down 27%, and compared with 2023 levels, with the district reporting the fewest assaults with dangerous weapons and burglaries in over 30 years. So I'm really questioning, what's all the federal overreach needed for a place that has a 30-year low in crime?
Let me just say something really fast. Let me say something really fast.
Oh my God. Gentlemen, Hood, I got you. I was coming to you next because I know you've been trying to jump in. But Hood, after you, I definitely want to go to Nina. So go ahead, Hood.
Yeah, so listen, again, as a 25-year DC resident, homeowner, and I'll just sort of like land with those demographics. Like, listen, I'm split on this issue with, sort of what Trump's trying to do and what I consider abject failure of liberal politics and Democrats to DC. And what I would say is that, listen, don't throw out these statistics on how DC has improved and how, crime is down 26%, and as a 26-year resident, because those statistics are only anchored in the fact that they're throwing out the criminals and the degenerates of DC because they're bringing in wealthy people, wealthy liberals who live in Capitol Hill, wealthy liberals that live in Columbia Heights.
Wait,
wealthy. Let me finish. Wealthy.
You gotta take a breath. I have a question for you, man.
Let me finish.
Okay, but let me just tell you how I run my rooms. You get it? You can't go on these long-winded soliloquies and not ask people to jump in. I get it. You live in DC. I don't. I live in Brooklyn. I got my own crime. The only thing I wanted to ask you is, you see they're getting rid of people. Where they're putting them? This is healthy debates. We go back and forth. You're more than welcome to come back up. So show a little decorum, man. Nina, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. You want to chime in, ma'am?
I just want y'all to go get your Cheeto out of the office.
Can I just finish? Let me just finish. Listen, the only reason that crime has been reduced.
Okay, I know this lady, Nina was speaking, and it's so important for him to get off with his chest. So, Hood, I'm going to bring you back up one more time. I'm going to ask you to show a little mic restraint. And I promise you'll get to say whatever you like. But we definitely don't interrupt the women on you. Nina, go ahead, ma'am.
Just let it breathe. I just think that, like, whoever's in office right now we're going down the rabbit hole. Are we gonna be able to pick this up? Y'all want me to fix this?
Nope.
I mean, we survived Bush, man, so.
That's true, bro.
But I mean, to be honest, like,
do me a solid.
Yeah, my bad.
No, it's all good. But I want to go to Hood because I was a little rude to him. I apologize, sir. But I just run my room a little different. So just get familiar with the lay of the land, and I'll let you speak all night, I promise. Again, Hood.
Yeah, let me just finish. Listen, the only reason, which is, like, I don't play this game with, like, white liberals and, like, white conservatives when it comes to the black population and, like, who's better than the other, because I think that white liberals are as racist as fucking white conservatives, and that ultimately the two play good cop versus bad cop when it comes to the needs of black people, especially in DC. And the point that I'm making is that as much as, like, you white racist liberals, because I think that you're as fucking disgusting and as racist as fucking white conservatives, the only reason that, like, crime is down in DC and you want to beat your chest about it is the fact that I'm not white. Let me finish. Is that racist white liberals are the ones who are gentrifying DC and pushing poor black native DC people out of DC. That's the only reason why your numbers are looking good. Like, racist white liberals are no fucking better than fucking racist white conservatives. Like, you guys are as fucking disgusting as you claim racist white conservatives to be. So don't fucking come to me as a 25-year DC resident black one and homeowner bragging about the reduction of like crime rates in DC, because the only reason why crime rates are being reduced is because racist white liberals are coming into DC and essentially eradicating and weaponizing ethnocide against the native black American population to force them to areas where they can't afford. And so you're no better than like racist white fucking conservatives, in my opinion. And I'll
Wait, so first of all, I'll let you go in a second. I have to say. He literally. No, I'll let you go in a second. I have to say something. Thank you. Adam, Craig, Sloan, I hate to do this. I need to step aside for 2 minutes. I got to do something with my puppy. Can you guys run it? Just 2 minutes. Thank you, Sloan.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And Sloan, don't be afraid to move people down, please. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Okay. Who wants to respond to the hood?
Yeah, me, because it was addressed to me. So let me address the fucking degenerate retard that thinks I'm a white liberal. First of all, I'm not white. Second,
I never said white liberal on the stage. I don't even know who you are, bro.
On the stage. Dude, I'm after the shut the fuck up, since you wanted so much fucking speaking time.
Why are you so upset,
You wanted so much fucking speaking time. No, because
okay,
you ended up attacking. You tried to attack me and characterize me based on something that I'm not, which is something that I'm not gonna do. Again, I'm not doing that with you. So if you want to go ahead and fucking concrete walls, go ahead and do that on your own time. You want to do cannonballs into empty swimming pools, go ahead and do that. You want to go ahead and wear the bungee cords for your fat ass as a belt, go ahead and do that. Don't fucking try me. Right idea, wrong bitch. So again, everything I stated was statistically correct. Because you can give the reasons why. And I'm more than happy to agree with you. White liberals are fucking garbage, which is why I'm not one of them. Because A, I'm not white, and B, I'm not a liberal. I'm a fucking socialist. I'm completely different than the fucking libs. So I agree. Their methods of fucking doing things or trying to fix things are not fucking conducive to a lot of the things that they think that they're doing, especially with a lot of them having the white savior complex that they do. So I don't disagree there. But again, just to point out that statistically it is true that DC is at a 30 fucking year low in crime, yet Trump is trying to act like it's a hellhole of a city is insane, considering that Miami, the place that he has residences at and the place he has property at, is statistically more dangerous than DC is right now. So again, it's because fucking rich and your little identity here. White liberals are fucking running out. Get out of your mouth while you're at it. Hold on, Adam. You fucking stupid. Right. Are you fucking need to call your uncle to give you some
Fucking white liberals are as fucking disgusting as fucking white conservatives.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
get over it, bro.
And the black conservatives saying the same treat as the white liberals.
Raise this person on stage, whoever got that opinion.
Okay. Who wants to respond to XG?
Yeah, I like that 1 second until everybody get quiet. That's crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah, whoever
Yeah, bro. I don't know if you was going to be. My bad, man. I'm trying to step in toes. But, I'm like XG. Both you and Hood got some points. But I think all of us missing the overall point. People do play with statistics, man. They doing the same thing in my city right now, XG. And they are incentivized to make the numbers look low. So there's ways about just the same way they play with the statistics on unemployment by not counting the people who no longer receive unemployment benefits but have not received the job. So technically on paper, unemployment look low. So you can play with statistics all day and long. Like anybody that does any job with analytics, anybody that does any accounting by the minimum amount of accounting, you can figure out a way to allocate a result by moving it over here and, inserting X there. So statistics ain't gonna tell you what people actually are experiencing and dealing with on the ground, bro. Like 150 cars broken into one night, and this is the second time within 1 month.
Blake, let me
Go ahead.
Thank you, because I got to do a quick reset. So we're getting totally off topic, but let me just say this. Is racial profiling real? Racial profiling, this is the vote. Absolutely real, total hogwash, figment of people's imaginations. It's a bigger issue than I realized. And we got some cool people down here. We got Rebecca, we got V-Bird. What's up, V-Bird? Mike, how you doing? KK, good to see you. Mia, good to see you. Jordan, how you doing? Guys, hold on, let me finish my reset. We have one person on stage, I'm curious who voted. It's a figment of people's imagination. That's interesting. VP, welcome to the stage.
Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, I think most
people, when they talk about people being racist, and they can't give any tangible evidence of something personally that they can point to and say this is racist and this is what happened. Every time this conversation is talked about, it's talked about at a super high level, as if everybody's racist, and I think that's the figment of people's imagination. Nobody has.
So wait, I just want to get clarity. No, you don't have to mute up. I just want a little clarity. So basically, you're saying racial profiling is fake.
It's fake in the sense that that people say that these people are racial profiling, but them themselves are just as equally racially profiling others. So to me that doesn't add up unless you have physical, tangible something. Nobody has ever. I'd like to see somebody on stage give an example of how they personally were racially profiled and continue to be racially profiled.
Okay, so
I can give an example.
All right, hold on, William. I haven't heard from you. We'll go to William Hood, and then we'll go to the great Nicholas. William, go ahead.
I can give a specific example of actually witnessing racial profiling from inside of a police car. When I was a law student, I was down in Miami. One of the things we did was a police ride-along, and that was part of the assignment for criminal procedure. And so we rode along with the police and did that for a couple of nights, and they definitely were pulling people over, popping up over curbs, doing, U-turns in the street, and going after people because they were black. And I witnessed it several times, and it's real. So this is just some actual tangible proof that it does happen, and I've seen it, and I've seen it done from the inside of the car.
Yeah. Nobody's saying that it's not real. Of course, there's racist people in this world. What I'm saying is people
Wait,
like to point
let me ask you a question. Respect, let me ask you a question, then we can go around the room. I don't know how old you are, it's not my business, but do you know who Rodney King was? Would you pull?
Was he the guy that got beat up in the streets in Los Angeles?
Yeah, would you pull that, what we saw in that video, as racial profiling or no?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, there's racial profiling happening right this second. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I'm saying that a lot of people, at least the people that I've talked to on Clubhouse and in person, they like to talk about racial profiling and how these people are racist and all that stuff, and then in everyday life they can't even give me examples of how they're racially profiled. They're pointing to Rodney King or to this or that, but them themselves don't got no examples for themselves. They're just like basically pushing narrative that they want to be true.
Blake, you want to say something, Blake?
Yeah, absolutely. Rodney King, JB. The Rodney King was being chased for felony fleeing for being drunk while driving about 100 miles an hour before they finally caught up to him. That's not saying not saying legally he deserved to get his butt whooped. But after chasing a guy at 100 miles an hour while driving drunk, I think that even some brothers probably would flip hands on him. So that wasn't racial profiling. That was police. What do you call that? What do you call that? The misconduct. Brutality. That was police brutality, but that wasn't racial profiling. That was a brother driving well beyond speeds that are safe for him and other people on the road, and he was evading the police, refusing to stop him. When he finally stopped, that's the part of the tape that they didn't show. They didn't show the chase. They didn't give America the full context. They showed the car getting pulled over.
Okay, so I used a bad example. Yeah. Can you give a better example of racial profiling?
Well, hold on. Can someone just give an example?
You got one already. If you want an example of racial profiling, just look at Obama's 2008 campaign and the birther movement.
Yeah, but
you're talking about people who personally experienced it, right? I mean, I can give extensive examples of where I personally experienced it.
We already answered your question. You want people to keep answering your question? There's some people waiting to talk.
somebody to give an example of how they personally have to go through it every single day?
Sure, this is easy. I'm not going to say that I have to go through it every single day, but I live in California, and once again, I had said earlier, I'm mixed. I was in Roseville a couple of weeks ago with somebody, and there was a ton of white people out there, and they all start calling me a nigger, and start calling another black guy that I was with a nigger. So that's something that actually does happen out here in California, especially in certain demographics or certain areas. So that's something I've experienced. But another thing, when I had went to a part that was very close to that city, I was talking to a couple of guys. They were friends of a friend, and they just make little passive suggestions that are racist. They made an implication. If you're familiar with Sacramento politics, they made some implications like, "Are you part of this particular gang?" and stuff like that. That they obviously wouldn't make toward any other white people. Also, it's the racial profiling that you can experience is not just from white people too. Even black people experience racial profiling from other black people. I've had people walk up to me and ask me, "Where are you from?" trying to figure out what set I'm from or where if I gangbang or anything like that, or if I'm neutral or anything like that. Whereas they wouldn't have done that with somebody who's white, and that's experienced regularly out here. So, like, if you are somebody who has experienced actual racial profiling, I'm not saying that it rules my life or anything like that, but it's definitely something I have to be aware of. If I go to certain neighborhoods and certain bars or certain establishments, if I go to the club, there's been mass shootings out here that have happened just from people getting into it, trying to figure out where somebody's from. And then there's also, of course, pockets of white people, and I'm not a racist toward white people or dislike white people, but there is some racism that does go on. And it can be something that's very regular. So yeah, I think it does affect people's lives.
I'm not talking about people getting hurt because of someone calling them a name. I'm talking about someone actually have like some type of consequences in their everyday life.
I have an establishment that I've never been banned from.
Everybody, hold on.
I'm talking about.
Hold on a second. Because I'm going to tell you one thing, man. The great Nicholas, he's been very patient, but I'm telling you, the dude won't wait much longer. The great Nicholas, the mic is yours.
Okay, I was gonna say, so first of all, I think the question is really silly, right? You're setting up this impossible scenario where someone has to be racially profiled every single day for it to qualify as racial profiling, which I find to be ridiculous, to be an expectation from its start. I think that question is just silly. And the second thing, I actually want to back up real quick to Brother XG. You really should go on the Google and do your research before you talk about certain cities' crime rates, because DC has 2 times the amount of violent crime as the city of Miami. And also Doral, where Trump's golf course is 5 times safer than the city of DC, both in violent crimes and in murder. So check your facts before you come for my city. DC is way more. Per capita? Yes, per capita. DC is way more violent than Miami. I'm done.
I don't know, I gotta be honest, I've never been to DC, so I don't know, I'd like to go. I'm a history buff, just never got down there. So maybe what? Go ahead, Nicholas.
No, I was gonna say, like, we're almost
in DC, man. People think DC is like secluded and shit, like, you know, it's all government. They think like, no, it's a lot of. DC is a real fucked up environment around that White House, man.
But I was gonna say to JB was like, we're like a near 50-year record low crime rate in Miami-Dade County. So I just think some people are still thinking Miami vibes, 270. That shit does not exist anymore down here. The city's well controlled, well policed. And Doral, where his golf course is actually pretty wealthy. So the comparison is just fucked up. I'm done.
So, Mother, why is he acting the way he's acting?
We're talking about DC versus Miami. I don't know what your question is about.
The guy that was speaking, who was that said that he just experienced something when he went out and everybody was calling him a nigga?
That was me. I'm sorry, I just don't understand.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't believe you. Like, it bothers me that, you know, I don't know, like, I feel like there's a demographic of black people that haven't really been oppressed in life, period. Like they was pretty much born with a silver spoon. They never really experienced the inner city activities. And for somehow when they get older, they want to be a part of certain conversations to the point where they exaggerate.
I guess realistically,
say is
bro,
that I feel
bro, listen, bro. It's easy to say certain things in conversations if you're not a thinker. But my man, you can't tell me in 2025 you and your friends as a collective decided to find a location where you just so happen to be around a group, right? Because even in 2025, let's say you found one racist person in a bar. You telling me that the whole fucking establishment was calling you a nigger? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, that's just so fantasy. That's TV shit. Like let's cut the bullshit to have. Let's have real conversations. Let's have real conversations. Let's have real honest conversations, and let's not try to trauma bond and make up fake ass stories just for the sake of diversity. It's weird.
RJ,
let's do that.
Let me jump in here real quick. RJ, first off, man, Brooklyn Love, it's good to see you. I haven't heard from you in a minute. Hope everything's well with you and your family. But I have a question for you. Is racial profiling real in America? And does it only impact the black community? Does the Latino community also get racial profiled? What do you think, RJ?
I think that America is still a baby to civilization, and it was built literally on racism, and we haven't been far removed as of yet, right? We only like maybe 150, 200 years where it even started to stop. So I feel like we have a lot. We're still going to have a lot of prejudice towards one another. There's still going to be conversations about, how you feel one group may act, or you could identify someone, and in your mind you're prejudging what someone is like. That's going to always be a thing, and I think that we still need at least about 200-300 years for us to not even speak about race at all.
Thank you, RJ. Man, I appreciate you. Hang out for a while. Having a great conversation here.
How dare you host a space like this?
Easily, I opened up the room and people showed up. That's how I did.
Where do you get these riddles from?
Hold on. B, hold on a second. Hold on. So I gotta say hello to Vero real quick. I gotta almost say good morning, Vero. How you doing, Vero?
How dare you?
How dare I? The cracker in the corner is talking race relations in America. What am I thinking? But Vero, do you think racial profiling happens in the Latino community as well?
I mean, I'm a white passing Latina, so I think so, yeah. I think so. Not as much as in the black community, though, for sure.
I just saw ice rain down the street. Like, it's crazy out here. That's profiling.
What's up, Chris? How you doing, Chris? What's up, baby? You still on Chris at Marcus. Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm good, brother.
You want to chime in on the subject, sir?
Yeah, so I will say this. One, racial profiling is absolutely, positively real. And it's not just for black folks. Because, like, when you grow up
to take these extra courses and shit when they don't have to. It's a recommendation, so I want to throw that in there. Driving, man, I don't even drive fancy cars. I drive a little Toyota Tundra, man, the regular vehicle. Just for that reason, I don't want to get pulled over. I don't even want the people looking at me to rob me. I don't want to get profiled at all. You know what I'm talking about? So don't profile me when I'm driving. Don't profile me in the retail store, in the car lot, and definitely not on the college campus. But yeah, it exists. It's happening. You know what I'm saying? Everybody going through it, but some people respond to it differently. I just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Like profile me. Oh, this is my last point. But when I get racially profiled driving, because I don't never do nothing wrong, right? Like you put me over, I had that energy. Like what the fuck did you put me over for, right? But instead of having that, I let them know like, hey, you know, I'm a veteran. And then the profiling stops. You know what I'm saying? Let them know like, I'm a veteran. Look out for your boy, man. They really who y'all? And then they let me go sometimes.
Thank you, Marcus. Hold on, please. Dina, how was how am I supposed to say his name?
Oh no, you said more.
That's that New York accent. That's that New York accent, man.
I liked it.
Thank you. Daryl, what's good, bro?
Good, how you feel, bro?
Hey, you had something to say, right? So talking about racial profiling in America, what's your opinion on this?
I think that you know from the day, so I didn't really get that until I came to Ohio. And you're definitely right, it is an area, if you know in the city, it's all like everything, man. So it ain't really like, you know, you get harassed by the cops unless you out there, you know, because they black and shit. But here in Ohio, I came to Ohio, you're absolutely right. You better not look like you. Boy, you better not have too much mayonnaise on your sandwich they at your ass. Hello?
Can I ask what city in Ohio?
Say that again.
I wanted to know what city.
Oh, I'm in a city called Toledo. It's in Ohio. It's about like 45 minutes from the D.
Yeah, right outside of Detroit.
Yeah,
Oh, y'all familiar? Y'all familiar? Stay away from here.
You don't get it in Cleveland. You don't get it in Columbus. You kind of get it in Cincinnati. Yeah, I'm a Buckeye. Yeah.
I think it's in the Midwest though. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, let's say hello to Jamal from Trash. Plain to say, what's up, Jamal? How you doing?
Peace, what's up? Good to hear y'all voices. Can y'all hear me at all?
Yes, sir. The mic is yours.
All right. Racial profiling. If it wasn't an issue, you wouldn't have to ask about it. I think it's as simple as that. If you have to ask, then you already know it's an issue. But at the same time, I think that it's ingrained in the fiber of our culture, American culture, and I don't think unless white people really had a long look in the mirror, and I don't think they're looking anywhere close to a mirror, it would never be fixed in this country.
So I have a follow-up question for you, and everybody will get to come up with stuff. But Jamal, here's a follow-up question. Is racism only rooted in the white community, or is it rooted through all communities? Be honest, Jamal.
I think, well, I'm going to be very honest. No one else has the power to push on racism other than white people because of white supremacy. I think other people may be prejudiced, and I think our prejudices are real in black community or Mexican community or others, but no one else has the power to administer racism other than white people here in America. And so that's just the reality of being a part of this country. And I think as black people, we live with it throughout the duration. So I don't even know how I would feel if it was any other way. I wouldn't even trust it. I'll land there.
Thank you, Jamal. Chris, you want to jump in, okay?
I just wanted to say, for your landing point, Jamal, you're absolutely right. You touched down on like the literal definition of racism as a form of, being able to actually systematically oppress somebody because of this, that, or the other. But I just want to say, flowers for that, bro. But for the other part with the racial profiling is that everybody gets racially profiled. Black, Mexican, white, because like I said, it's like I'm from California. Growing up on the West, if you're from there, you know.
Wait, time out, Chris, hold on. How do white people get racial profile?
I'm about to tell you. I'm about to
You sincerely tell me.
I'm about to learn you.
Chris, learn me, man.
I'm about to learn you.
If Franklin wants to know.
Listen. On the West Coast, there are like different sections of the West Coast. There's rich people and all that shit, and then there's the rest of us, right? Now there's blacks, there's Mexicans, and then there's the whites. And the whites, and I'm not talking about the rich. This is all separate from the rich folks, because in California they don't got KKK, but what we do got is like Nazi lowriders and skinheads and some other shit. And these white boys is gangbangers. Alright? They get profiled and because they wear suspenders and combat boots, bald heads, tatted up, they just like this. Can I say that? My bad.
Chris, can I ask you real quick, what part of California?
Oh, I'm from Northern Cali, bro.
Oh, same, bro, same.
Yeah, I'm from Sac.
Oh, I'm from Sac, bro. That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm from North Holland.
Oh, okay, that's what's up, that's what's up.
And I know what you was talking about, cause you got the like the trailer park whites. That's different.
I say it's not even necessarily the trick, bro. I know some gangster white boys that
it's racial profiling because we're always going to be profiling people, and of course we're going to incorporate race into that analysis.
That was a great take, Gift. Thank you, B. I'm gonna give you a little peek. It's just my opinion. I don't speak for all white people, but I think white people are afraid and intimidated by black people, and that's why they racially profile. That's always been my opinion.
Wake it up. Wake it up.
I don't think that really has much to do with it. I think it's an economic thing, and it's a way of keeping order so that they can administer, I guess, their white supremacy onto the country, because they have to keep blacks at a certain mind state and level, and a level of respect so they can see comfort. Because God forbid if blacks ever decided to revolt or really act a fool, then they would only have their dogs and guns to protect them. And so I think the racial profiling and the racism and the way they conduct all their business here in America is so that they can see comfort. So they don't have to worry about going to war, because they don't want to go to war, although they're all armed and they're all ready for war and anticipating some of them. But they really don't want that. And so I think they do racial profile and amongst other things to try to keep blacks in line. I'll end there.
I want to ask you, Jamal, just curiously, like, and I don't have like any opinion, or I do have a little bit of an opinion, but more so curiosity. What like percentage of the general white person do you feel like is in that mind state necessarily, versus kind of like what Chris was touching on, where sometimes people just prefer to associate within their own demographics and people that they find culturally relatable?
I would know the answer to that is about as well as I would know what goes on at Christmas dinner at a white person's house, or what goes on in Hanukkah at JD's grandmother and granddad's house at Hanukkah time. I'm not privy to that, and that's the whole point of it. They're passing down information to their children. They're passing down knowledge to each other, and they're sharing information at all times.
Jamal, if you invite me to Christmas dinner, I'll be more than happy to come. I'll bring you so many different desserts you want to go and have.
I'm sure you would, but the answer to the question is you would have no way of knowing that question, because it is what it is. They're passing information directly down, and their kids know very quickly how to speak to you from. They're taught that from the beginning. They know it's not right to say certain slurs or phrases to you. They know how to carry themselves with you when they're around you, and they also have information on the ways that they feel about you and your level of intelligence. So how would I know what percentage it would be? It could be all of them, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, let me ask you a follow-up question, Jamal. In your opinion, where is racism taught? Because kids aren't inherently born racist, or you have a group of them.
I think it's taught by the mother.
He just told y'all in the house. It's passed down.
It's passed down from and the mother is your first teacher, and so the white woman is the one who is more dangerous than anybody. She's the most dangerous to black community, I would say, because our women have lined up with her like from a female standpoint, just because they're both female, and our men have been slain for doing. They killed and all and castrated. So the white woman is very dangerous, and the white woman is teaching the white children.
Jamal, let me tell you something. My
Hey, this is John. I think I can put in the queue.
It's your time, John.
Yeah, I don't think profiling is really the big issue. To me, it's representation. Meaning, if you think we live in a structural white racist society, well, then it's not just profiling that should be the issue. It should be representation on the board of directors at the Federal Reserve, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, Pfizer, Moderna, Coca-Cola, J&J, etc. If you want your seat at the board of directors and you want equal compensation based on racial breakdowns, well, that's an argument. I mean, so I'm just saying the real racism isn't from profiling. The real racism is from lack of representation in the Fortune 500, proportionally.
That's fine, John, that you think that. But do you understand what we're speaking about?
Yes, I speak English and I understand what you're saying.
Real profiling.
Yeah, I have a profile on this app. It's called John Kitover. You have a profile named Nina. Is anybody racially profiling you right now in this room?
So I want to ask you a question. Do you understand that there are people that are subjected to inequalities that you might not have to experience?
Yes.
Okay. And sometimes they look like brown people. And you know that, right?
Is that a serious question? Yes, again.
I'm serious. So then why would you just come off the mic and act like profiling doesn't exist?
Because representation is a bigger issue than profiling. I hate to break the bad news to you.
Oh God, but you know why there's not representation?
Well, I'm making a case that if you believe there's structural racism, well then profiling is not a primary issue. Representation is a more primary.
Is there structural racism that's happening?
You tell me.
I'm not the one that's in charge, so you tell me.
Well, I'm not in charge either. I'm running for Congress to try to get in charge. If you want to donate to
That's
the campaign
fine,
to elect
that's
John
fine,
Kitover, I'll be happy to put
but
the
you
link in the
still
chat.
have
You
to
can
be-
send $10 and we can help you can help organize and get started right now.
No fundraising, please. Let me do a quick reset. John, I promise I'll do a review one day. Okay, just guys, this is not the debate. Is racial profiling real? Racial profiling is absolutely real. Total hogwash, but fit in the people's imagination for a bigger issue than I realized. We got some cool people in the room. We got Ash, we got Mike Moon, Lady MD, love that PTO. Gene, how you doing? Keith, how you doing, guys? If you want to come up, people are welcome. If you have a pink ticket, cash it in. Yo, MJ, you said I am a professional racist. I believe those are the words. MJ Israel. You're more than welcome to come to the stage and expose me for the racist I am. Please, by all means, you're more than welcome to. But let me welcome Nine to the stage. I am happy here because I'm gonna eat. I didn't even want to open this room, but Adam's savage. Hi, Nine.
What's up, JB? Adams? What's up, Sloan? What's up, Stage? Hey, Nine. John? What's up, Congressman? What's up, around these rooms? Happy Sunday evening, everyone.
Alright, guys, we're gonna go popcorn style. Slow down, slow.
Yeah, so I mean, I think while John makes a valid point, it is a misplaced comment for this conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah, because we are talking about day-to-day, regular life, people going about their day to go to work, go to school. We're talking about just a regular old day. This systemic racism, this systemic issues, they exist, yes, but that's not this conversation, John. But yes, there is a place for what you're talking about, and the bigger issues. This is a very important issue, just day-to-day racial profiling. But the bigger conversation, yeah, that could be had. Just it's not right in this one, but yeah.
Well, I mean, in defense, all I would say is that the title is all or nothing, is racial profiling. It doesn't open up the room for any other conversation.
Okay. Yeah.
Chris, guys, we're gonna go popcorn style.
I think that they were just addressing the particular concerns that they were addressing more on a localized level rather than a systemic racial profiling is necessarily the problem, because oftentimes the purpose of profiling is to gather accurate information about an individual. I do think that education could play a negative role in it if you have stereotypes that you automatically think are going to apply to all groups of the demographic. But I think the racism aspect is a little bit more problematic as opposed to just the profiling. I think profiling overall can be useful. And I think that is something that, once again, we do every day. When you see somebody
with that statement puts into his psychology, into how he is navigating this world, right? And that's why we should not be upset with him, because obviously that wasn't like a well thought out statement. That's like an emotional reaction. And whether or not he's intending to trigger, he's definitely intending to separate himself. And that separation is, in fact, a defense mechanism. Because the world is shooting at black people. And he's saying, not me, them. Stop shooting at me. Right? And I understand it. And like I said, there's something that should be paid. Because obviously he has
Okay, being yourself, but I appreciate your point.
Alright, so let me just say this real quick. He wanted to know about what I felt or what we felt was a remedy to racial profiling. And went in another rabbit hole, but I'm gonna try to bring it back. I think the only real remedy that in my mind I can see is land, maybe 2 or 3 states, where we would succeed the union or try to come out of the country, but we could settle a couple of states. I'm in a state called Wyoming right now. I'm headed to Utah, where the brother said he's from. I'm working on there.
By Evanston, what you mean?
Alright, okay. I mean, it's not what you're missing on way, Chris. Alright, yeah. All I'm saying is, as I was driving on Highway 80 headed west, I see a Walmart distribution center that's hiring for $30.65 an hour. Now, I know Walmart distribution centers, and I know Wyoming is a white ass state. So they have settled certain areas of the country, and they have business in those areas. They're still Americans. I'm saying all that to say, Carolina, and some of these states we can settle and make our own, still do business and make money, create our own hourly minimum wages. Because I'm thinking to myself, how the hell are these white people in Walmart distribution center all making minimum of $30 an hour? And so I just find that very interesting, because I know if you go down south, they're probably getting paid $16 an hour, right? So we can settle some of these areas, and that would be the biggest way to stop racial profiling, is to police ourselves in our section of the country, in our community, and settle those areas. That's the best example I can think of for a remedy. I like it.
Oh, I share your something you just did, and I'm sure that'll work.
Seneca, I just wanted to respond to some of what you said. I disagree with most
both Seneca and then of course Queen Sloan. And then Chris, I know you want to respond. So Seneca, let's let him land first, please.
Okay, yes, I'm going to land here because I know you have the Black Americans have self-respect and self-control. At the end of the day,
Seneca, hold on. Don't mute. I have a question. I stopped eating, listening to you talk, because it's just, you're blowing me away with what you're saying. And keep it real with me, because we always have good conversations. Do you actually believe everything you're saying right now?
yes, because I'm tired of people acting like animals and not. If I was Black American, okay, and I didn't know my heritage to inform my values, I would be Muslim. Okay, because at least there's a community, there's the Ummah that will inform me and provide a culture that will ensure that when I meet a police officer and that position of
Read that
authority
man
over
bio.
the
He
animal.
is Muslim. He lying.
Yes. When I am Muslim, I'm not lying. What are you talking about? I never said I was.
Don't worry, I'm gonna cook your ass in a minute. As soon as I get this mic, I'm gonna cook your ass.
You can
Hold on, Chris. Stand down, Chris. Hold on.
Just let me pretend you can control yourself. Okay, if I was Black American, okay, and I didn't have a heritage, I would adopt the cultural values of Islam with the Ummah. Okay, that teach me humility and modesty, that teach me to dress in a hijab. Okay, not in a hijab, to cover everything from my navel down to my knees. As a woman, to wear hijab if you're a woman. Okay.
Tell the other Jews that if he believes the game.
Chris, let him land.
And to respect authority. These Black people do not respect authority. They act rambunctious. They act like wild hyenas and animals, and then they expect to be respected. And that's just not how the world works. If you respect yourself, people respect you. If you act like you don't have a heritage, you didn't come from a home, you want to have tattoos all over your face and then put a chain on your neck and then go into corporate America, no, they're gonna kick you out. You don't belong there. Okay, if it walks like a criminal, acts like a criminal, it's a criminal. I respect my
Thank you, Seneca. I think Sloan wanted to go, and then we'll go to Chris. Anybody want to speak after Chris? I have a queue.
Yep.
E, I see E. Anybody else?
I do too.
That's Keith. Okay. Anybody else after Keith? All right, cool. Please don't interrupt as the speakers come off mic. Cool. Sloan, you got it, sis.
I'm not even going to say very much because I just don't really need to give my energy to ignorance. I really don't. He believes what he believes. I gave a very good example of why you should not judge people based on appearance, and he chose not to even acknowledge that. That's fine. But you see, and this isn't to talk. I'm not even talking to him, and I'm not going to center myself. But I will say that it is important to know that Blacks in this country may not know their heritage, not through any fault of their own, but through the capitalism called slavery. And that is important to know when you decide to pass judgment on someone that doesn't know their culture. And let me be clear, I am Black. I am not African American, and I'm okay with that. In fact, after meeting you, I am more than okay with not being African American. I am Black, happily Black. And to further make my point, I'm actually, I am in the lineage of George Washington. My Black
woman and she's
my family is on the slave side of George Washington. We're in the Smithsonian Historical Museum for African American History and Culture. So when you say people don't know their culture and they act a certain way, yeah, things come with that. And this of the capitalism of slavery. I would wish to be a Nigerian based on your nasty attitude. I wouldn't. I'm happy being a Black American and I'm proud of that. But when you look at me, it comes from a place
shaming. And let me just say this real quick, because I know there's people like blowback from this room, right? Healthy Debates does not endorse anything that's being said by individual speakers. I'm not signing off on any of this stuff. So before you guys go open rooms and Healthy Debates is harming or racist, I don't want to hear that shit. So get it back to you, Nine.
For the record, before we go to Chris, for anybody who has, I personally don't identify as Black, African, or Negro. I'm a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey. Thank you. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, me, I'm just another brother from Cali. I love what you said. Uh, it's just amazing to me. So, like, the sister saying that, her family, something goes back to George Washington. So, my great grandmother, and if you ever go into Texas, my last name is Gardner. My family founded a whole town in Texas, and they black. They not African. I don't know any Africans. None in my whole family. Zero. Man, it's crazy to me that this man can sit and talk like that and say, oh, well, because he look like this. Yeah, I'm tatted, bro. I'm 6'4", I'm 270, and I'm tatted. I'm tatted up. And if you see me outside, you'll probably turn around. But if you took a second to stop and say hi, you'll find out that I'm actually a nice guy. You are just afraid, bro. You're afraid, and all your people are afraid. That's the problem. You a bitch. I don't even know how else to call it. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but all you've been doing is saying like, oh, if you look like this, you act like this. If it's a duck, it's a duck, it's a duck. Well, if it bleeds once a month and it looks like you, it must be a hoe. I don't know
Well, I have a
how else to call
question.
it.
Chris, Senator, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Thank you. And I'm just trying to get some clarity. Were you born here or you were born over in Africa?
I was born in Florida. Yes.
Oh, New York City. Okay, gotcha. I
We
have
had a
to.
conversation about, Eastern Europe.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised about the things you're saying because, I don't feel that energy here in New York or that vibe. I mean, listen, you're going to believe what you believe. I know I'm not changing anybody's mind. But you kind of knocked me focused tonight because that energy doesn't live here in New York, as far as I know.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of different cultures in Europe. I've been within areas that were being surrounded by immigrants, right? But even JP in Brooklyn, right? The Trinidadians, the Jamaicans, right? They're not
I'll go, Chuck. Put you out of the queue.
Just put me in the queue and let me know when I can go. This is Chris.
Okay, so Chris, hold on. After that, we have Chris. I think I saw Sean come off mic, and then Bert. Go ahead, Pete.
So Seneca, I'm just gonna say that I think that while I'm not particularly offended by what you're saying, I think it is understandably offensive. And I also am gonna say that I fundamentally don't think that short
color, and what that means is we're all Americans, and on the inside we have pink brains, and we have blood, and we have other colors on the inside. So I would just say that when I say that education is lacking, it really is a spiritual education, because we all have a translucent soul which is colorless, or at least all of our brains are pink and our hearts are red.
Let's go to the next person, please.
Congressman like that. That's messed up. Okay, wait, Chris, you were on the phone. Chris, you were next before John, so we'll go Chris and then Bert, John, and Jamal. Go ahead.
I can't even think of anything else to say except, man, that man crazy. And I will just yield my time to the next person. Because, like I said, I was on the phone. So, I can't even deal with that right now.
No problem. Thank you, Chris. Go ahead, Bert.
You. What's good, buddy? Yo, Bert, I need you to do me a solid, bro. Cash that pink ticket.
I got you. That is my fucking way. You know what I'm saying? That's some of it I do. Some of it actually do.
So you own this thing because you want it, not because you're
No, I didn't buy it. I did not buy it. I inherited it. I inherited it.
There's no law that says that just because you live someplace it's your place.
All right, yes, that is against the law. There's natural and it's source.
Hold on a second.
No, you're a lawyer. Ain't you some amateur?
No, Lord, I would have to, like, natural law would also be, like, the
Great room title there, Rabbi. Really top notch. Very funny. Good stuff.
Go read the book and look at the room title.
That's what I keep telling people on this app, fatty.
Do you know that may have turned out to be Sean? What? What's his name? Hickman?
Yeah.
He's an English guy.
He's Jewish.
I don't know yeah, he's an English guy. I don't know why do you think he's thinking so hard? He used to hate Trump, but he suddenly started loving Trump because Trump is scared over the Jews.
Oh, he's cooking for the Jews.
That's right.
Really?
That's right. And I don't like, I don't like people whose views are so easily swayed by either the coin or by something, people whose emotions are so easily, so readily aroused. And I just don't like that.
The issue, I think you're very surface level with it. Surface level ignorant, damn near MAGA. No offense to anybody else who's MAGA. Just trying to make a point. So yeah.
Thank you, Bert. Okay, let's go to John.
At some point we gotta give Seneca a chance.
Okay.
Hold on. Because then he's getting dog piled.
He's just gonna call it for master. He's just gonna call for master.
You know what you said? You said so. Hold on a second. Hold on. No, I'm gonna hand it back to you. Run it how you want. I just think keep setting a good conversation. Otherwise, it's dog piled in an echo chamber.
Okay, so we'll let Seneca respond, and then we'll go to John, Jamal, and then I see Mike came on. We'll go to Mike Allen after that. Go ahead.
Okay, so anybody coming to the kill, I'm back.
want to keep it real with you. I find everything you're saying to be so vile and disgusting and so intellectually dishonest. Because for me, right, JB,
It's
right
his
here,
lived
I'm not part
experience,
of that community, I'm
JB.
not part of your community, I'm part of my own community. But here in New York, as you know, we're a melting pot, so we mix together. For you to label an entire community the things you're saying, I'm gonna keep it real, bro, is reprehensible and disgusting to me. Can't speak for anybody else in this room. But you know, I like to give everybody a chance to expose who they are. And I have to tell you, dude, you really, in my opinion, my advice to you is take a step back and listen to what other people are saying. Come out of that headspace because, bro, it's not reality. But I'm sorry for cutting you off. I had to say that because I've been
It
listening
is
for a while.
reality. It's the
I gotta tell you,
reality.
these scenes gross.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, they get like
Very fucking. Can I ask you a question, JB? Can I ask you a question? You're from the Italian community, right?
yes, Italian Jewish.
Italian Jewish. Okay. Do you see the difference in the behaviors and the culture of your community and the Black American community and how it has made your community more successful?
What I see, I've seen beauty in the Black community man, here in Brooklyn. I live in Bed-Stuy, but no, let me, you ask me a question, let me answer it. I don't see any difference with all communities, right? But all people. Listen, Bill and I argue every fucking day, bro, and I still will have a fucking drink with this guy. I don't give a shit. Let me find out the context of the person, not the whole community. I'm not gonna paint the entire community because one idiot did something stupid. That's just ridiculous. Listen, look at the narrative we have in this world right now. The Jews own the media, Jews own the banks. Guys, we're not going down that rabbit hole right now. Just using this example. It's ridiculous, man. I'm not gonna sit here and paint the entire community because one person made a mistake. Because there's plenty of people in my community. I guarantee you, son, I'm making mistakes today. They'll make them again tomorrow. Does that make me the same person that that person is? I would hope not. But guys, Sonic, I'll let you play.
Well, I have no further questions. I was hoping you would acknowledge that your community has been more successful because you act like a community. You come together and support each other. Okay, and you take responsibility for your growth.
Yo, Seneca, listen, I'm not gonna say that the Jewish community hasn't been successful. Let me say this to you, bro. I've been ostracized by my own community more than any other community. See, there's hypocrisy in every community. That's why I get smoked from my community, because I call them out on their bullshit. Right? They don't want to hear that. They ostracize me. That's fine. I'm still a proud Zionist, and I will be till the day I die. and let me just give you this little example, son. If you're driving down the road, and a cop pulls you over because you're black, because we all know that happens, that's entirely true. You think you can tell me, no, officer, hold on, I'm not black, I'm African. You think he's really gonna believe that bullshit?
So you can tell by the way I speak, the way I conduct myself, my behaviors. I call him sir. Even if he's angry and rambunctious, I de-escalate. He knows that that's not the behavior of a black man. And 9 times out of 10, JB, they let me off with a warning. Even when I'm speeding, they let me off with a warning because I'm so respectful. That's not the characteristic of a black American man.
I disagree. Everybody get up. Everybody get up.
Please become a
Guys, we have a queue. I'm gonna hand it back to Nine. Wants to go to MG real quick. MG, put your seatbelt on because we got some craziness going on here.
Hi here. Hey, JB. Hey, Nine. Hey, everyone.
Nine, please, I don't know where your queue is. It's on.
I just want to give a quick reset for folks who came in. Healthy debates. We're talking about racial profiling. We have a poll at the top. Absolutely not. It's leading by 90%. If you don't see the poll, you have to go out, update the app, come back in. Absolutely not. Total hogwash. Figment of people's imagination. Bigger issue than I realized. Those are your options. Please vote if you haven't voted already. Folks, I know everybody's heated and passionate and spicy, but we have to honor the queue. We have Jaw, Jamal, Mike, Chris. Trap joined the stage. Trap, do you want to get in the queue? If not, just let me know when you're ready. Okay, so we'll add Trap after Chris. So let's go ahead, Jaw, and then Jamal.
Before we go to John next, but John, can you do me a solid, bro? Please cash in your pink ticket.
Thank you, JB. Jaw, the mic is yours. Please, everybody, remember, keep your submissions under 2 minutes.
If there's anyone worthy of being dogs, it's him.
No, we ain't doing that, black boy. We ain't dogs. That's not okay, John.
No, good.
talking shit, you know what I mean, make it work. No, it's that you can't, you know what I mean? They gotta solve it themselves. You can't really tell people. Alright.
Thank you, John. John.
Marcus Jr. is a piece of shit too. We do some bullshit too, but they don't tell us all the bullshit we do. They just be like, oh yeah.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Go ahead, John.
So I hope y'all can hear me clearly. I'm using my headset. Seneca has touched on and articulated very well a lot of my own personal feelings, and I'm from the United States of America Foundation, African American myself. And I agree with him. I know that he is gaslighting a lot of it, probably, and upsetting people, and the way that he's saying it so smug and matter of fact, and it's a little disrespectful the way he's saying it, but everything he has said is right, and I agree with it. And I think we as African American, Black people, foundational Black American, we have to come to terms with some of this stuff in order to really, really go back to the title. And the title is about this racial profile. There's a way that you have to deal with police. And what he was describing is exactly the way that I handle business. There's a way to deal with this white supremacy that we live in, you know, and the best way to do it, we've learned, and we can see it from the Chinese, we can see it with the Nigerians, we can see it with the Indians. You have to understand the system of capitalism and move in an educated fashion. We need to stop being their entertainment. And I think the most important thing we can do is stop our kids from playing sports for 5 years. And don't give them no more NFL players, no more basketball players, and redirect a whole generation of generation alpha and beta, into engineering, science, STEM, technology, and reroute ourselves out of entertainment. There's no money in it anymore. There's no money in the music. They officially raped you from making money from music unless you perform it and on stage sampling, breaking your legs, headbutting each other, and getting brain aneurysms from football, shooting and breaking your legs and shit, shooting basketballs and shit. It's time for us to redirect shit. And I agree with everything that the Nigerian brother's saying. And right is right, you know. And we got to really take a long look at ourselves. If we want to stop the profiling, we got to really take a deep, long look at ourselves. And I'll land right.
Okay, XG, hold on. So I have Mike, then Chris no longer on the stage. So I have Mike. Is Mike still?
Mexican people, they have a specific preposterous
Pepe, you did it again. You know, you're doxing of Roger Mayhem, you're stirring of the pot. You have once again.
Somebody else go down.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, bro, maybe you killed them. Actually, you were watching. You were watching like
Stir the pot. Stir the pot.
I was an amateur, and then like
He's like, let me tell you,
Kick me. Oh man, we need Roger back. We need Roger back.
Child.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things are gonna get harder.
you can keep the liquor. If you want to, you can.
Ooh, child, Roger Mayhem's gonna get fluff you out.
I like Kitover.
I like it over too, but he has a name. If you want, you can keep it.
When are you guys gonna donate to the campaign to elect John Kitover?
I am like that. I know what it is.
Oh, that's right. You're Canadian. You can't donate to the campaign anyways.
Well, I thought. I actually could, you know, there's supposed to be some slide roundabout there.
Got it.
I just want to bring him in. Bring that back in. That Pokemon
I
back.
saw him on here earlier today, but I didn't see his room.
He's no longer showing up to gun counts and he's deleted his Twitter because he's been exposed as a Yiddish guy called Sean Hickman. And he misspelled Sean. Child, the Jewish faggot selling Pokemon cards while talking about gold.
That's right.
Check. You have to understand John Kitover. You have to understand that this room here, they get minimized. That's not right.
We are studying FIFO, LIFO, and specific identification as far as inventory management.
That's right. We actually do plans, unlike Roger Faggot Mayhem, who actually Pokemon cards while talking about gold and not public.
That's right.
Who finance it. And we don't do niggas. We're nigga minimizing. Okay, so these are privileges just for you to know. And you should be more than lucky to be at the big figure Satoshi Shaker Farm.
So this Muslim chick on Hinge is like, what are you looking for on here? I said, whatever you're looking for. She says, I'm looking to get married. I said, we shall see if that's in the cards. She wrote, you're Muslim? I said, no, but can we Ummah and do 2 wives?
Child. That's why I love this movie.
Oh, child.
I actually do like people like it. I like it over. People don't appreciate it though. I beg to differ. I do appreciate it. I just get
She wrote, so are you considering it? Sure. Can you believe these people want to have these like ridiculous text conversations on the dating app? People are really fucking stupid. And this girl is a physician, a fucking doctor. That's why I give no credibility to the medical industrial complex. It's just basically people who tested well and now they work in consumer packaged goods. That's it.
I completely agree with that.
I don't know if I agree.
Are you serious?
There are aspects of medicine where critical thinking is required, but that takes like other specialists. It's not like hospital. It's like this, like your fellowship.
should consider contributing to the campaign to elect John Kitover. Let me put the link in the chat, Rico Bosco. You should become a donor to the campaign to elect John Kitover. I'm not Polish and I'm not Jewish. You shawarma, Jordanian, kanafi, motherfucker. You motherfucker.
Others would be funny to see John Kitover just troll Congress, so I would enjoy that.
We're gonna get on the ballot. I already worked out today. We're gonna get on that ballot, but I need money to actually get the signatures. Well, that's okay. Just buy some more put options because Bitcoin's going down, and then you can contribute to the campaign.
Hi, you've reached 1773913.
You Indians were studying.
I agree. I think we are brother and sister.
Okay, I'm with you. I'll go along the road.
I like that. You got a husband?
More than one.
Sister.
More than one.
He said brother and sister, not even like you have a husband.
No. I'm asking.
White people, you get to a certain age, of course you're gonna have some stereotypes. You feel me about white people when you see them. You feel me, and then you're gonna racially profile them, even if it is on accident. Like, hey y'all put this in your potato salad and shit like that. Like I see us do it more than anybody else. Matter of fact,
Yeah, it's human nature.
I'm also tell us this. I've seen black people racially profile motherfuckers more than anybody else. Black people, we racially profile Africans, we racially profile other black people, we racially profile whites, we racially profile Asians, we racially profile fucking Arabs. We always think one of them motherfuckers walking around with their hijabs, is that what they call it? Whatever they call the little shit that they put on their head. We always think one of them about to blow some shit up, you feel me? Like, we racially profile motherfuckers more than anybody I've ever seen in my life. I'm just gonna put that out there. So yeah, again, it just comes when you don't have the knowledge about the other race, you feel me? You don't fit into proximity with certain people. Yeah, you fall under the racially profiled.
Thank you, Trent.
Can you ask a question?
No, hold on. Hold on a second. If you want MAGA, I'd let you ask two questions. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. No, we haven't heard from Trayvon yet, and George hasn't spoken yet. I'm gonna let Mike ask his question, then you want to get these other guys involved. It's on you.
Yeah, it's a quick one. Track, I actually agree with everything you said. I think you're a very level-headed man here. Would you say you're afraid of police officers?
No, sir.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying, Gene. And that's that. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Trayvon, are you there, Trayvon?
Yeah, what's poppin'?
What's going on, man? You want to jump in this conversation? You just want to hang out?
Man, I guess I chime in real quick. I'm gonna say that everybody got different views, you feel me? So we ain't never gonna sit here and actually build on something that we attacking everybody's point of view. You feel me? So I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there. And in regards to it, racial profiling is definitely a real thing. Trust and believe that. Now, I like to see things from, you know, in between. I try not to take sides of it. So, you know, to be clear, a lot of times that, you know, we get racially profiled. From my own personal experience, we are doing something that causes us to be looked at in some type of way. Let's be real about it. And to be 100%, I do feel that within a community, you know, we don't take accountability, you know. But I do feel that there's times in which we do things to cause, you know, people to look at us a certain way. Prime example, you know, in certain places, as much as we would all like to, you know, value cannabis, you know, in certain places, cannabis is illegal. You know, it's definitely been times in which, you know, some person gets pulled over under the influence of cannabis, under the influence of alcohol, you know what I mean? And it just goes down. It goes into a downfall. It spirals down. I don't like that. And it causes people to look at them suspicious. But there's also times where it's not anything that gives them a reason to look at us suspicious aside from our skin. You know, so there is those times in which racial profiling is just what it is, racial profiling. So I'm gonna keep it brief at that and let y'all brothers continue building on what y'all building on.
Thank you, Trevor, man. I always appreciate when you come in. So I'm going to go to George, and then I'm going to go to Seneca. George, you there?
Hey. Yeah.
Hey, you want to chime in?
Sure. Yeah, I believe that racial profiling is definitely real. I think there will always be racism in the state of affairs. I also think that you know, people should be on their best behavior, of course. I mean, it's just good strategy. And you don't see that. If you're on your best behavior, it's not a problem. So that's it.
Thank you, George. Seneca, are you there, Seneca?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if you wanted to chime in or not.
Yes, I did. Thank you. So the gentleman earlier, I think it was he said that
stopped reporting them anyway is because they came off aggressive, they came off more hostile than was necessary. I felt like I was being treated unfairly, so I wanted to record for my own safety. And then I was arrested, or not arrested, but detained and put in cuffs for recording. So I think that sometimes people are exercising their rights for their protection. And while I do think it is the decent thing generally to comply, there's also, you have to take into account human nature that police officers are not perfect and some of them are wrong and corrupt as well. And those are the times to exercise your rights, and that's what rights are for. Rights are for preventing against being encroached upon unfairly. So I don't think that I don't think it's the decent thing to do to let a police officer search my vehicle if I haven't done anything wrong, because I don't think it's the decent thing to do to go search somebody's vehicle that hasn't done anything wrong. So to some extent, there's common courtesy and there's decency and there's I generally will comply. I'm not gonna lie, I got pulled over by the police like a week ago, and I actually was. I said, I apologize, sir. Maybe I was, going a little fast, whatever it was, and I completely complied with him. He said, well, you're being cool with me, so I'm gonna let you go with the ticket. I could give you reckless driving because you were going like 95, but so generally, yeah, I showed him my ID, and I did, I complied with him in the ways that I should have. But there's also been other circumstances where police were very hostile, very aggressive, and I don't think that you should unconditionally just bow down to people. So I think that's where I more so take issue with what you're saying, is that I think people should be able to have their rights and not have to, they don't have to.
Thank you. No, I think I said it might be office. Okay, so now we got a couple of people on stage. We got CM. We got Bella on stage. I'm gonna hand it over to you. I'm gonna sit back and listen for a minute. By the way, now you're doing an amazing job today. You are crushing it.
Thank you, Mike. So listen, guys, I know this conversation is very heated, so I just want to keep it orderly and run a queue. The queue list is ended, so I'm going to start a new queue. Please let me know who would like to speak.
Yeah, I know there's people over there, but let's do it.
Yes, when I'm back to
Hold on. We have Seneca, then we have Mike. I see Trump wants to speak. So Seneca,
For sure, but I'll wait my turn. So people that were here first. He takes a double hits from his pen and all of that. So as the proliferation, sorry, I'm still hot. As the proliferation of marijuana starts becoming legalized, you see a lot.
Oh, hey, Julian. What are you doing with these highbrow financiers, Julian? I thought you wanted to you wanted to make love to Mangione and free him. Oh, hey, man. Hey, man.
Admin, whatever your name is. I'm a man of duality.
Just give $10 to the campaign to elect John Kitover. Link is in the chat.
I don't think he would do that. I think he would really go. I think he would be like a total cut for his just like all of them. It's not gonna be any different.
That's right. Israel's my number 2. America's my number 1, baby.
No, Israel's our number 1, but America's our number 2.
Nah, you Jordanian shawarma eating motherfucking faggot.
Let's try his back test then. You've heard that one Alright, let's go
Link
next.
is in the chat, faggot.
He's not the motherfucker. No, good
Link is
question.
in the chat. Link is in the chat.
He's not the motherfucker.
I seen it earlier. I was laughing. It was funny. I seen it.
Yeah.
I laughed at that. It was humorous to me.
Yeah, it was actually funny. But,
It's sad though on how they, try to hang on to y'all playing along with it. Like I said, y'all well, y'all know what y'all saying. And y'all just having to deal with breed of people who came up under a time where they were told y'all oppressed them. And then you got people raised up.
no, I understand. So,
Well, it's a time for everything like that. And it is a time when these people are gonna start terrorizing you. It ain't gonna be safe enough for them to live.
we're already in America.
That's what they're gonna try to do. They wanna get it so we can devour each other. So you have all the blacks having more revenge for slavery. Then they gonna try to get it by
And now you, if you've got reparations
what's an NOI?
Nation of Islam.
Oh, you're Mr. Farrakhan guy. That's what's up, man. Nation of Islam in the building. Shout out
What's
to
inside? You know, they say that the devil doesn't live outside of you. The devil's inside of you.
Congressman John Kitover is here, ladies and gentlemen. Bam, 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 bam. Hello, Congressman. You guys know Congressman John Kitover. He's my motherfucking dude. That is the hippest, that is the blackest white dude that you'll ever meet. John Kitover. He is a nigger for real.
You ain't black if you don't vote for John Kitover for Congress.
Hey, John, that would be funny as shit if you did that. You should put some humor in your campaign, brother. Some real raw humor. Like shock jock humor. You're too scared to do that, though. You're a politician.
No, we're creating content all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, Jamil. If you love niggas for real, you would talk shit to them. You feel me? Like, you wouldn't be scared to talk shit to them. And sit in their face and be like, nigga, what's up with you? Like, you taking this shit for real. Like, you really in your feelings, nigga. Like, what's your problem? You feel me? So, like, you sound like a nigga. Yeah, I can be anything you want me to be. Sometimes I sound like a straight bitch. Yeah, thanks, boo. But, yeah, like, dude, John, would you say, John, you say you do have?
I'm saying I do a lot of comedy. I mean, I'm filming myself 18 hours a day and putting it on 10 different YouTube.
Provocative content, John.
It's pretty provocative.
Hours. No, what's provocative, John, is you going to the hood, nigga, and playing basketball with the hood niggas and calling them a bunch of niggas and dogging them and dunking all on them.
Well, I'm running against La Hood. His name is Darren La Hood.
Okay. You're getting close. Okay. That's what I'm talking. What I'm saying, John, is okay. You're a congressman, so you're a people person. So you got to be able to smile with Karen and have potato salad with raisins, and then step over a few blocks down the street and motherfucker shake a tail feather with Keisha and them. You feel me?
I feel you.
Alright, guys. So you need anyway, you know you can always call me for advice, my nigga. So you're gonna need advice when you're in that office. Some nigga advice, some brotherly love.
Well, I'll be sure to look up the Love Hard podcast on Spotify.
Yeah, look that up or look up Love Hard Network, because you know I am a synergy specialist. I'm a consultant, so you can hire my services. Yeah.
Well, how do we get Pennywise to Chicago so we can get married and start a family?
Who's starting a family?
Me and Pennywise.
Oh shit, Pennywise! Congratulations.
She recently broke up with her Michelin Ashkenazi boyfriend.
Wait, dude, you don't want no rebound pussy.
Have you seen how hot she is?
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck how hot she is, John. Don't do it.
It's not rebound pussy. She's a real woman. She wants to free Palestine, and together we're gonna free the world.
John, just call me on the back end, dude. Like, if you're being serious right now, like, okay, fuck that. I love you, John. You know I do.
I knew it. Lucifer has a thing for John, and he's trying to psyop John right now.
Stop trying to cock block him and let him shoot a shot to death.
Yeah, let me shoot my shot. I'm trying to get some John dick. Damn, girl.
Somebody told me on my YouTube channel that I'm not funny.
Well, John, what does Penny think? Penny, is he funny?
Yeah, he is.
She's lying already to you, John. Don't fucking do it, bro. Unless you like a liar. Now, if you like a liar, which they could be very spicy and very, like, being with a liar, because it's very, you don't know what you're going to get, right? You
never know. It's so inconsistent. It's so inconsistent, dog. And it is actually, it's fun. It's really fun. So I really, what the hell? Make sure you guys just like videotape your escapades, your love. I think if you put it on the Congressman in Love on YouTube, I think that is television.
Can you sing, Lucifer?
Baby, I can do anything. Okay. She's almost up singing a song. Ain't this?
Yeah, sing first, please.
Oh no, not right now.
No, come on.
It's too early in the evening. I don't sing. I only sing around angelical hours around 3 a.m. 3 to 6 a.m. That's when my wings come out, my fangs. But this has been, what book were you reading? Says come read a book for me.
No, I wanted someone to read for me, actually.
Did you
Anything
get them to read for you?
Yeah, someone did.
Oh, okay.
John will read
Oh,
for
I
you.
got some Ruby for you, baby.
Oh yeah, John loves to read books.
Oh, I love poetry. Oh my god.
Okay, I got
Have you
it.
checked
Here we go.
Arabic poetry? So good.
I got a poem.
Okay, go ahead.
Hickory dickory dock. No, not that one. There was an old lady who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. I call bullshit.
There once was a woman from Thrace whose corset was too tight to lace. Her mother said there's something in your stomach that didn't come through your face.
Little Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. At least that's what those freaks told y'all. They went up on the hill to get busy. Jill came
That was Jack and Diane. I think you're getting confused with the stories, you know?
What? Jack and Jill?
There once was a boy named Carter. By golly, he was a farter. When the winds wouldn't blow and the ships wouldn't go, Carter had to start her.
I like that.
Yeah, I know that.
I like that. At least, we should have like a poetry time where we're just doing nasty, naughty, like adult poetry with a kitty, like nursery rhymes, adult nursery rhymes.
Hi, baby.
There once was a vampire named Mabel whose periods were eerily stable. Thus, every full moon, she'd get out a spoon and drink herself under the table.
I like that one. I like that. Yeah, we should get even gorier, more gory with it.
At a party last night. I wasn't here quickly.
How about this one?
Party was great.
There was
Go
a
ahead.
ghetto. A lot of people adore a witch, but shout out to Trump and January 6th. How about that?
That's
Adore Trump in January. What happened January 6th?
Some retarded white people.
Oh, you talking about?
Look at your PTR, right? Is that it?
Oh, did they storm the Capitol? Was that January 6th? They stormed the Capitol. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, but
shout out to them for that.
Shout out, yeah, exactly. Shout out to those independent individuals who decided to do what they wanted to do, and now, it's all good.
Does anyone have a limerick on that? Because do you remember the photo of that little old lady and she's holding the American flag in the middle of the Capitol with all this craziness happening? Hold on, I have to find it.
You know what? Let me ask y'all a question real quick. Remember this? Remember when they said a plane hit the Pentagon? How many people in here believe that?
What, the plane hit the Pentagon?
Yeah.
They showed They show where it hit the building. That's what they said.
No plane fucking hit the Pentagon. That was not a fucking plane that hit the Pentagon.
They
It
did
was
show.
a missile. It was a
Goddamn
missile.
Okay.
That's right, dude.
So plane, missile, it's all the same shit.
No.
What's the
No,
difference?
it completely deconstructs the actual narrative for the American psyop that they have provided us here in the United States.
Exactly.
Wait,
John.
Student, what do you mean? What you say?
I thought it was the walls that they like built in the explosive.
That's in the World Trade Center. That was all done by actual Mossad and the American CIA. It was CIA operatives and Mossad.
So wait, the CIA and the Mossad are they tight? They cool this shit together.
Absolutely, they're one and another.
They're inseparable.
This is why Jewish men, please don't have children with non-Jewish women, because then your children end up like Michael Bronstein, and they're very confused and they have a lot of internalized anti-Semitism. So
John?
that's your warning.
John.
Your kids.
John.
Oh, John, another patrilineal.
John.
The Wahhabis. It's all the Wahhabis'
John.
fault.
John, help me out here.
Well, the two patrilineals agree on it, I guess.
John. Fucking motherfucker. Now you don't want to talk, John. What the fuck?
Well, I'm good on Yali's good side right now. I don't want to upset her anymore. She's a very easily agitated young woman. I know she's for male castration, so I don't want to upset her.
Damn, she's from male castration.
Chemical castration.
Holy shit, bro.
I think I said male birth control.
Male birth.
Yeah, which would be
like neutering.
no, so they would be given a dose of estrogen, and it would be a chemical, quote unquote, castration. But it's not a permanent one. It's sort of like women do now anyway. If you add extra hormones to prevent pregnancy, men can do the same. But John is horrified by this.
We add extra hormones to prevent pregnancy?
Yeah, that's what birth control is.
Well,
It's
you
extra
know,
hormones.
they've already for a long time been turning all of the men into fags. So what's a couple extra hormones gonna do?
You sound so sad when you say that, Issa.
No, I'm sick of fags. I hate fags.
I'm so sad when you're
Wait,
sad.
Issa,
That's the only thing that the God of Abraham and I have in common is we both hate fags.
You know something? It's not the only thing you have in common. Mm-hmm.